Hi, everyone. This is Susan Damiani. I'm Director of Gift Planning for St. John's University, and I have the privilege of talking with who I call our St. John's historian, Professor John Clarke. He is a double graduate of St. John's University. I hope I get this right. 1955 CBA and 1957 School of Law.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yay, I got it right. Okay. And he is an attorney at law, trust and estate attorney, a very good one, I will say. Not that I'm being biased or anything, because he's a graduate of the law school. And he also is a professor for the Peter J. Tobin School of Business. And the reason why I selected Professor Clarke, I call him Jack, because I was saying he was a historian, and our e-newsletter this week is dedicated to our 150th anniversary. And if anybody knows the history, and I'm putting you on the spot now, aren't I? Anyone who knows the history of St. John's, I know Jack could provide a little bit, share some of your knowledge and history of St. John's. So, I'm going to turn it over to you. What would you say over 150 years? What really stands out about St. John's, and why do you think we're celebrating our 150th anniversary?
Wow, that's quite
I know.
I should, for the point of for people who don't know, the reason I'm a so-called historian is that 61 years ago, I joined the university as the director of alumni relations.
That's right.
I did a lot of the jobs that Susan does so well now. I certainly did in the same way, and I stayed in for 8 years before joining the faculty. So yes, I've been through many years and with many different highlights. I tell you, the big highlight is we've always taken care of people. We were started as a school to take care of the immigrants, of the children of immigrants. I'm the son of two immigrants, and they took care of me from day one, and I saw that happen. And I saw so many people progress and do so well. So I guess that stands out. A new term, mobility. We rank very high in the country today on this issue of mobility. And if people don't know what that means, it means our students come in at the lower economic level and acquire greater economic ability and so on. So that's the mobility. In other words, we don't take in the rich and turn them out richer. We take in not necessarily the bottom poor, but certainly those who need help, and they do very well. So that's I think a big thing for us.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Working class families, and I think that's what makes our alumni so strong. And I'm sure you saw it when you were director of alumni relations. Our alumni are in the community giving back all over the world, we could say now, because we've expanded beyond our New York area, and they're always volunteering. So that Vincentian spirit is very strong, a strong spirit with our alumni. Is there anything in your time here at St. John's that really stands out, that was a memorable moment?
Well, one of the memorable moments I thought about very recently when people were talking about how and you just spoke about how we've moved nationally and internationally. When I started and as a student and also as alumni director, we had very few people outside of the metropolitan area. We still have a lot. Mm-hmm. But one of the highlights was, I don't remember the exact year, it was around 1980 or so. when we had a session where we had 3 governors who were St. John's graduates. Mario Cuomo for the New York, and George Damiani from the state of California. And I should have looked them up. The governor of the U.S. Virgin Islands, the American U.S. Virgin Islands, were all St. John's graduates. How much more diverse
That's great.
could we get? Diverse in ethnicity, diverse in where they were then and separated. That was a big event, I thought. It showed how we had grown and what we had done.
Wish we recorded that, like we're recording now, right?
Yeah,
That would
should
be
have
great.
recorded a lot of things, you know.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because I was going to mention later on, but since you mentioned it now, you were honored at a law school, their annual alumni association luncheon. And I was lucky enough to attend that luncheon. And your speech, I would say, I wish we recorded it, because it was a great alumni speech. And you spoke about Governor Cuomo, and it really, I mean, I think anybody who's an alum of St. John's would be so proud at that moment. First of all, you were getting a wonderful award, and but also the way you spoke of the school. You've been, such a great supporter of ours, very generous with your time, with your donations. But that moment was really, I'll never forget it. It was a great, great speech. So I guess that kind of segues into my next question. What does it mean to you to be an alumnus of St. John's?
Wow. That's an interesting question. First of all, I think I owe it all St. John's. I had nothing. My father had passed away when I was very young. I was 9 years of age. And we were, getting by. And I remember in high school, in my senior year, one of my teachers, a Zavarian brother, mentioned the fact that, you should really look into scholarships and so on throughout the country. And I started to look. The problem was they were all very competitive. And I was a typical high school, maybe wise guy, wanted to do other things than worried about academic. And I mean, I was getting by, but, not the star of the show by any means. And I went to the library and looked at all of the college bulletins, and the only one that had a statement in that said financial assistance was available to those who needed it. The only school that had that in there, and I immediately wrote a letter in response to that, and I got a letter back. I remember it very well. It was December 31st, 1951. I still have the letter from
Really? Wow.
Father Jim Collins, who was the treasurer of St. John's. And he said, we've reviewed your application, and you'd be welcome here at St. John's at a cost of $100 a year. And I thought, wow, I think I can handle that. And that was it. It was based really, I mean, I sent in my transcript and so on, but it was really based on financial need. So I owe it all to St. John's.
Well, I can tell our viewers that you've certainly paid it back tenfold. You have showed your appreciation to the school by far, and that's really, really nice, and we really appreciate it. Is there anything you'd like to share with our viewers? Anything, any interesting facts about the school? Because I know when I first started working here at St. John's, you really helped me navigate through, the history and knowing about, different facts about the school that I was, even though I attended St. John's, I wasn't aware of as a student at the time. So you really have taught me a lot about the history, just, balancing between the Queens campus and the Brooklyn campus and, Lewis Avenue, Skirmhorn Street. We had Staten Island and, different degrees and different colleges that existed at certain times. So, it was a lot to learn. And you certainly helped me with all of that. But is there anything that there might be, it doesn't matter what year they went to school, they may not know about St. John's?
Well, that's a tough one, but
Sorry.
we've really done so much, and we're continuing to grow. I'm in the Tobin College of Business. When I started there as a student, and even as an administrator, it was the School of Commerce,
Right.
and it started in 1927, and we've come a long way. We're really a first-class operation, and doing very well in our national rankings and so on. And we were just named, I think, number 7 in insurance.
Yes.
And we took over the College of Insurance in 2001. As a matter of fact, we took it over. We started it the week of September 11th, 2001. Our brand new Manhattan campus was closed down 4 days after it opened because of 9/11. And so we've done great things. Our College of Collins, College of Professional
Professional
Studies,
studies.
that started out as the junior college. And I, as alumni director, I would go down there and talk to the registrar about people that put into the junior college whose parents would call me and so on. And they did wonderful. And I've been in touch with some of them, even though it's over 50 years. And now that changed its name several times, but it went from a junior college to a first-class operation where they're conveying graduate degrees and conferring, rather, graduate degrees, and they're working toward a PhD in things like homeland security and things that were just undreamed of years ago. So that's great. And of course, our law school is like, and naturally, I'm particularly proud of the law school, but it has accomplished a great deal and is high in the rankings. I just saw recently where we're number 2 in New York State as far as placement of our law graduates, only behind Columbia. And I think
Wow.
22 in the country, which is
That's great.
fantastic. So we were always good, but
Yes.
now we're even better.
Right. That's great. It's so true.
That's
Being the direct.
that's just 3 of our schools, So.
No, exactly. And being the director of the McAllen Society, we know Father McAllen, he had such a great vision to choose Hillcrest, the golf course, and turn it into this unbelievable university.
Some of our older people will remember we had matchbook covers when people got matches years ago, and on the cover was the future home of St. John's.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
never heard that one. Oh, that's interesting. I know they were telling me when they attended Skirmhorn Street, and I've seen photos of it where they wore beanies and they had a certain dress code.
No, that's
No?
that's Lewis Avenue.
Oh, it was Lewis? Oh, I thought it was Skirmhorn Street.
Skirmhorn Street, we were much more sophisticated. We were the downtown business people.
Okay.
Lewis Avenue, they had beanies, and they had the upperclassmen, the seniors, wore an academic gown to class.
Wow.
Yeah, Skirmhorn Street, we didn't.
You had the Quonset huts on
We
Skirmhorn
had
Street,
the
right?
concerts. We wanted to be business people,
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
and there, of course, some people may be surprised, Lewis Avenue was male only. So if a woman wanted a liberal arts education, we had the University College on the top 3 floors of 96 Scarmahorn Street.
Yeah.
And the future accounting stars we had in the School of Commerce. So it was a
Well,
great.
the women that attended, the university college, they certainly opened a lot of doors for myself and many of the alumni. And thanks to them, we're very grateful for them, because it was definitely, like you said, they weren't allowed to go to, St. John's College was
the
all
liberal
male
arts.
college.
We
Yeah,
had
the teachers' college, right? That's probably most
that was
likely
at
what they.
Lewis Avenue, the teachers.
Right.
Yes. And
No.
I never. My only connection with Lewis Avenue, I think I attended a basketball game at the DeGray gym, and I worked for Coca-Cola in the summertime, and I remember delivering Coca-Cola to. that was that was my connection with Lewis Avenue. Until many years later, when St. John's Bread and Life was founded at what was then St. John's College.
That's
So,
great. So you have really fond and good memories
oh,
of your school days.
yes.
That's great.
And of
Well,
course,
I want to
even
thank you. Yes,
even the years you were in school, which is only a couple of years ago,
that's right.
we've had some very successful people, and I keep in touch with a lot of them. And it's
Well, you
great.
taught a lot of them, including myself.
Yeah,
Every time I'm with you, somebody's your student.
yeah.
That's nice too. And I'm sure it's nice to see your students go on and be productive and successful.
Oh, yeah.
It must
Oh,
be a good feeling.
I'm happy to report that I think the 7th one of my students is being honored this coming year at the President's Dinner for
That's great.
outstanding achievements. Yeah, that really
That's
makes.
terrific.
Yeah.
I bet. That's
Not that I
nice.
had anything to do with it, but uh,
You never know.
I'll brag about them anyway. So,
That's great.
yeah.
No, that's terrific. Well, thanks. I know this was an impromptu interview. We wanted to get your thoughts since St. John's is celebrating this wonderful, momentous occasion of 150 years. It's really, when you think about it, it's amazing. 150 years.
Yes,
But that's, it's great to be part of an institution that has, such great history.
yes, yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
By the way, our alumni might be interested. I spoke yesterday on the phone to Lou Conaseca,
Oh,
who was
great.
a
How's he
Lewis
doing?
Avenue person, and he's wonderful.
God
He's,
bless. That's great.
in January, he'll be 96, and he's as
Wow.
sharp and as good as ever.
Really,
So,
that's good to hear. Thanks
yeah,
for sharing that with us.
yeah.
We always, everybody loves Lou, and it's
Yes,
nice to know he's doing well. That's
yes.
terrific. Well, thanks, Jack. Thanks again. Any closing words about our 150th anniversary before we end the call?
Hopefully, we'll get through the 150th year in.
I know.
You
Yeah.
know, I'm really optimistic. We had a little setback in freshman registration, but so has everyone in the country. I think we're going to be okay. We're we're,
Good. I think so too.
we're going to hang in there, and we'll do fine.
We're St. John's tough, as that T-shirt says, right?
That's right. That's right. I know.
And we are St. John's.
Amen.
Thanks again. It
Yeah,
was great to see you.
you're right. Thank you.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Right. Check this. Okay. How's that?